So what Canva is, it's basically a graphic design platform. It has tools that help you create visual content, things like social media, presentations, posters, flyers, infographics, and a lot more. Now, the biggest benefit that I find for using Canva is that it has a huge library of templates, images, fonts, design elements, and you can customize all of that, which ends up saving you a lot of time. Now, there isn't really an alternative out there that are user-friendly and don't require a lot of learning. So before Canva existed, if you wanted to create a poster or a flyer or a business card, you have to hire a graphic designer. But in this day and age, just using Canva, this allows you just use the graphics that are available, the fonts. You don't have to go and look for different websites and pay for images. It's all in there in Canva. So that's the beauty of this platform. So let's get started. When you first log in over here, you're going to be taken to this homepage, which we call the dashboard. And the dashboard is a central hub where you can access all your designs and create new ones and explore the templates. Now, we are on the free version, and the way that you know you're on the free version, it says free. And then you're going to see all these yellow crowns pop up, maybe next to pictures, next to fonts, and then that's how you know that this is going to be only available for the pro version. If there's no yellow crowns, then it means it's available for you in the free version, and there's a lot that you can actually do just by using the free version. If you're wondering actually about the price, it's very affordable. The Canva Pro is like $10 a month. And when you see all the things that you are able to do inside Canva, then you're probably going to say, well, it's worth it, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you have a small business, maybe you're a teacher, it's going to be worth the investment because there's a lot that you can do with it. Okay, so let's start here with the dashboard. I'm sure you're seeing a lot of buttons and it gets overwhelming. So I'm going to go step by step and show you what's in here. So if you press on Docs, imagine Docs being like Google Docs, but very nicely designed and very user-friendly. You know how frustrating it is to create tables and charts? And yeah, this is much easier. So if I scroll down a little bit to the templates, and I'm going to press on See All, here's an idea of what you can create in Docs. So you can create resumes, planners, workbooks, surveys, business proposals, and this is all customizable. And then when you're done, you can download it as a PDF or, well, yeah, you can download it as a PDF and then have it printed, or it can live online and just share it digitally. And then once you scroll and you find like a design that you like, this is all customizable. You can change the colors, you can change the fonts. So I highly suggest that you start with a template and not like a blank doc, because you kind of get stuck with all the designs. So if you have templates available to you, then yeah, definitely go start with that. I'm going to go back to the dashboard. And the way that you would do that, either press on this logo over here and you're back to the dashboard. Now, whiteboards. Imagine whiteboards being an infinite canvas and mainly used for brainstorming. So if I scroll a little bit down here, you're going to have an idea what whiteboards are. So you can use it for brainstorming or creating charts, and it's infinite, right? So you can move around, and it's not like a PDF where you're stuck with a specific size. And yeah, there's also templates available for you to start with. You don't have to start with a blank canvas unless this is something that you want to start your brainstorming on a fresh new canvas. So this is what whiteboard is for. Presentations. I love this tool so much. Also, imagine it's like PowerPoint, but also with very nice templates to start with. They're animated. The colors are beautiful. It doesn't feel like it's a presentation from the 90s. Okay, so for example, when I press on this magnifier over here, I'm going to go and see all the possible templates that are available, and it will inspire you to see what kind of style you're going for. If you are more like in a corporate job, then you want something, yeah, more serious, but maybe it's a presentation for school and for teachers. There is a lot to pick from. Now you can go through the templates right here, or you can actually type the type of template that you are looking for the slideshow. Let's say I like one of these designs. When I press on it, I can see the different slides without committing to the slide, to which template I'm going to use. So you can go and see, like, can I actually use this? I like that it's broken down in a specific way. And then that's when you decide this is a good template for me. So it's very endless. So yeah, I highly suggest you spend some time on viewing the possible templates that are in here for slideshows. What's next? Okay, so presentations. Now we have social media. I'm going to go in depth in social media, so I'm just going to skip that for now. And then we have videos. That's correct. You can create Reels for Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Maybe you're starting a YouTube channel and you want to do like a little intro at the beginning. This is all done inside Canva here with this video. Okay, I'm going to move on to print products. Very interesting. I'm not sure if you know about this, but you can have these products after they're designed, printed and shipped to you for free. So things like postcards or paper bags, flyers, stickers, tote bags, coasters, sweatshirts, t-shirts, mugs. So after you come in here, you design it, you can order it in here. For example, just a quick, I'm going to showcase this. So for example, mug, if I press on this, it's going to bring a picture of a mug. On this left side, I have graphics that are already available, and then I can pick one. Okay, so as I mentioned, if it has this crown that is golden in golden color, that means it's a pro graphic. Let's try and use it. It's going to tell me, oh, do you want to try Canva for 30 days? So you're not going to be able to use it, but there's a lot of other things that are available. So let's say best mom ever. I'm going to add it to this cup. I'm going to go to the top here, press on print mug. You can choose to print on the front or on the back, the price. If you order more than one mug, 2 mugs, 3 mugs, the price is going to go down. And then in the checkout, you write your address, the shipping is for free, and it gets delivered. Now, I know this is available in North America, in Europe, in I think Japan or Australia. So there are some countries that they ship to, some countries that they do not. Okay, so it's very interesting. So this is the print products. And you can create brochures and business cards. This is all printed through the Canva website. The next button here is websites. Now you can create a website with Canva. Personally, I would advise that you create your website on more established platforms, something like Squarespace. This is something I recommend to my clients, just because Canva is a tool that you can do a lot of things, but it's not going to be the best one to actually create a professional website that people are able to click through, order from. Maybe it doesn't have the strongest SEO for people to find you online. So that's for the websites. And there's a lot of templates to start from. So you can dabble with it, see if maybe websites is something that is good for you. The next one here, I'm just going to press more, and then I'm going to show you all the other options that you can create in here. So you can create a desktop wallpaper, you can create a book cover, a magazine cover, a calendar, and you can actually have the calendar printed as well, a worksheet, a workbook, what else? Tags, invoices, flyers, ebooks, blog graphics, and phone wallpaper. So just a general idea of what you can create here in Canva from the dashboard. So if you have time to spare, I would highly encourage you to come in and see all these templates for documents or presentations, for printing products, and just dabble into that. Okay, so this is the middle part of Canva. I'm going to move to this side, which is the left sidebar. We have the home, which is also another way to come back to this dashboard, or you can press on Canva. Now, inside projects, this is where you get organized. Everything that you create in terms of social media or workbooks or whatever, this is where your folders are going to live. Templates. This is another way to reach the templates, and you're going to notice this all around. Like you can access templates in many buttons. So this is one of them here. If you're not sure like what exactly you want to start creating, you can go that route. Brand Hub. So as you can see, this is a Canva Pro feature. I'm going to show you how it looks on my Pro account so that it's easier to explain. So I'm going to open my Canva account here. I'm going to go back to this main dashboard. See how Brand Hub is grayed out, because this means I actually have this feature. When I press on it, what it is that every company, let's say you work for many clients as a graphic designer, and then you have everything in one place. So for example, for my business, Yellow Board Studio, when I press on that, I have my logo, I have my picture, I have all my colors, so that every time I want to create a graphic on social media, for example, I don't have to go and look for all of these. So it's all in one place. Here are my fonts, the pictures that I use often, and then my graphics. So that's one example. If I go to my other business, I have my watermarks, my colors, my fonts, etc. So this is a feature. If you feel like this is going to save you a lot of time, then this is something to consider. Okay, let's go back to the free version. Okay, so we talked about the Brand Hub, and then there is apps. Inside apps, there's a ton, but we're only going to cover a few things. For example, there is the content planner. So let's say you want to finally be consistent on social media. You want to start scheduling in your social media content, then you can do that inside Canva. So not only are you going to create your post, and then you're going to press on a button and then decide which day you want that to automatically publish on your Instagram. It's worth noting, you can only publish static posts, not even carousels. Like it can't be like a post that has 10 pictures. It just has to be one post, and you can't publish reels. It's kind of very limiting. That's why this tool it doesn't have every single thing. If you want a really good tool that's going to do good scheduling for your social media content, then I would suggest later.com, for example. Or there are some really good ways of just using Instagram, and you can schedule in advance all your content just through Instagram, and it is for free. Later is a paid platform. So this is an option. So even if you had the Pro account, I don't use this content planner. I feel it's very limiting if you're just going to post one picture, which we know now in Instagram, one picture versus a reel doesn't get a lot of engagement anyways. Next up inside apps is the smart mockup. So I'm not sure if you knew about this, but what smart mockups is that it showcases the design that you created on an actual thing so that it looks real. So let's say you create a website and you want to post your launch date. You can use one of these laptop mockups, something for tablets, watches, TV screens. If I press on print, it's going to show me my design on a book or on a frame, a poster. What else? On a sticker. Packaging. Let's say you're working on packaging for a company and you want to show them how it's going to look on a cup, for example. So you can use cosmetic, beverage, supplements. Apparel. You designed a t-shirt and you want to showcase how this t-shirt is going to look. Here we have sweatshirts, shirts, hoodies, tank tops, onesies, accessories. So for example, let's say I'm going to press on this accessory. Here's what I can see. That picture that has the cloud and the blue sky, this is where your actual design is going to go. And all you have to do is just drag and drop it, and it's going to show on this mockup. Okay, so there are a ton of different pictures. So this is just for like the accessories, right? If I go back, so we checked out the apparel. There's also home living. So let's say I press on mugs, same thing. It's so easy to showcase your mug design in different ways. So if I go back here, it says there are over 8,000 mockups. So this is what you can see from this page, but you can, let's say I am looking for a bottle. Let's say I designed something and I want to see how it looks on a bottle. These are the options that come up. So very infinite. Okay. And then product photos. I think this is a new feature. It says beta. And I think what it is, it's going to be like, let's say you have a business, you have a specific products, you take a picture, you bring them in, and then you remove the backgrounds and kind of show them in different ways. So that's kind of new. I'm going to go back into apps. This is where we found all of this. Now there's obviously a lot more things that we can find in apps, but I'm not going to cover that. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard. The most important button on this page is actually this one. It's called Create a Design. Once I press on that, here's what's going to happen. Now, the most helpful and most time-saving thing that Canva offers in here is that it has the dimensions of anything. So, for example, if I wanted to design let's say something for Facebook, and it's going to be like the Facebook cover, and I don't know what the dimension is going to be, instead of going and looking through Google the dimension of a Facebook cover, I'm just going to go in here and look. It tells me if I need a Facebook ad, it's going to be this dimension. A Facebook cover, this is the dimension. A Facebook post. So it already has the dimension inside. Here's another example. If I wanted to design a brochure for my business, it's going to give me a lot of options. So there's a 17 by 11. It's going to be folded in a specific way. Here's a smaller one. There's a Z fold brochure. So this is really going to save you a lot of time. Also, the same thing for Instagram. Once I type in Instagram, it has a dimension if I'm creating a reel, a story, a portrait picture, or a square photo. So everything is in here. Now, I'm going to start with just pressing on Instagram post. That is a square. Once I do that, now we have a completely different view. In the middle here, this is our canvas. We can start with a blank canvas, but as I said, always use a template because it's going to help so much rather than starting from scratch. Here on the main page, so this is the design editor. So we have the canvas, and on this side, we have the sidebar. Okay, right now the design is pressed on, and what you can access with the design is templates. Okay, so let's say I am running a sale on Instagram and I just write sale. It's going to come up with a lot of templates that are kind of designed towards something salesy, right? So this is how you would access it. Tons and tons of templates. And remember, some of them are going to be free. Some of them are going to be only available for the pro account. So that's how you know the graphic on the bottom. So this is the design button. I'm going to move down to elements. Inside elements, you are able to add shapes, graphics, stickers. So stickers are graphics that are animated, photos, videos, audio, charts, tables, and frames. Frames are, I'm going to press on it. What you're going to do with the frame, you're going to bring your own image and it's going to be cropped in that form. So let's say I have a picture of myself and I want kind of a doodly line, not something straight, then I would just drag and drop my picture inside. So these are the frames. I'm going to go more in depth through all of these, but I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. And then if you know what you're looking for, let's say I am looking for an organic shape. It's going to show me graphics in an organic shape, a frame, a photo, or even videos. And then that's all customizable, and you can pick different colors. Another interesting thing that you can find inside, where is it? The elements? No, not the elements. Okay, it's the upload. Okay, so that's the elements. We're going to go back to this afterwards. I'm going to go down. This is the brand hub. See how we could access it from the dashboard. Now we can access the brand hub inside the design. So if I had the pro account and I had all my design elements, I would see them in here. Uploads. This is where you are gonna drag and drop your pictures inside here. So if you have a video, if you have an image, if you have an audio, this is where you just drag and drop it inside this section. Here's a button on this section. Don't forget that it is here because sometimes people lose it. It's record yourself. Let's say you wanted to create a recorded presentation. You wanted to have a picture of yourself in a video on the screen, and you are pointing, doing a tutorial of some sort. You can do that inside Canva. Now, I can't showcase that to you because I already have my camera on inside Zoom, and so that's not going to work. But once you press on record yourself, you have the option of having record your screen, showing yourself or removing yourself, or maybe just recording your audio with your screen. So this is a very handy tool. Once you're done recording, it's going to save it. It's going to be saved. And then you can have a link, like a www website link, and then you can share that video with anybody. So let's say you're trying to explain to somebody who works on your team about how to do something specific. You can do this quick video tutorial and then send them the link, and that's how they can access it. So very interesting. So this is inside uploads and then record yourself. When we finish this 1 hour tutorial, you can go ahead and play around with it. It's really fun. I'm going to move down here. Text. This is where you can either start with font combination that they have already created, or you can start with typing in something just by pressing this button, right? Once you press it, it's just going to show up in here. Okay. Next up is draw. Now, this is a new tool in Canva that they announced. I don't know. I feel like it's not something that is going to be used much. I don't know, but you can draw. Now you know that it is available. I'm just going to erase that. I'm going to move down to projects. Now, as you remember, in the dashboard, we could see that we can access all our folders from there, but you can also press on projects and then you can access your folders in here. Apps, same thing. We could access it from the dashboard, and now it's also available inside app. Audio, text to image. This is a nice feature. Maybe if we have time at the very end, I'll go over it, but it's not going to be very necessary. So I'm going to go back here to design. And then inside design, I'm going to type in intro. Okay. So intro is something like, let's say you want to post on Instagram a few facts about yourself, or you want to talk about your business. Let's say I press on intro and I'm going to pick any of these templates. Okay. So I'm going to pick this template for now. Once I do that, here on this canvas, I'm going to start seeing a whole new bar on the top, and it does different things depending on what element I have clicked. So for example, I'm going to press on this text. When I press on this text, what I'm going to notice is the font options that are going to be available for me to change what font I want to use. As I mentioned, if it has a crown, then that's for the pro version, but all the other fonts are available to you. And then this is the size. You can change the color. You can go in here if you have specific brand colors and you want to leave everything consistent. You can type that hex code in here. You can make it bold, italic, underlined, and then you can make it uppercase or lowercase. Center it. So those are just aligning, bullet points. And then the letter spacing, this is something you can play around with, and the line spacing. Okay, just going to erase that. It's gone. I'm going to press on text again so I can see this bar and then continue showing you all the features. So I just pressed on this name. Now, when I press on effects, I can add some shadows, some neon colors or whatever. A feature that I use often is background. I like to add kind of something like this. So it's much easier than actually drawing a box behind it. So that's inside effects. And then let me remove that. Another feature that I love using is the curve. So once I press on curve, I can make this text box, change in shape. So I can curve it like that, then rotate it a bit. So something a little bit more interesting. Okay, so that's inside the effects. I'm going to move to animation. Animation, there are already all these presets, so you don't have to press on them, and you just have to hover over with your mouse, and then you can see how the animation works. If I press on it, then I can decide if I wanted to animate when it's in the frame and then going out, or just on enter, or just on exit. And then you can play with the speed if you have the pro account, and then you can decide if you want the characters only or the word. Okay. Right now, I'm going to remove the animation. I'm going to show you this very new feature that they added, which is create an animation. So once you press on that, it says select and drag an element around, and then it's going to animate it. So this was very limiting before, and now it has created a lot of freedom. So let's say I'm going to hold this text box, and I'm just going to create this random animation. So I just clicked on it, and then I moved it around with my mouse. And then I can play with how smooth I want the animation to be, how steady, and then I can also play with the speed. Okay, if you don't like this animation, just delete the path and then do a different one. Okay, so just play around with it. So that's the animation tool. And then the position. This is also very new. Before in Canva, when you had all these elements, sometimes an element was behind something else and you wanted to click on it, but you couldn't really because there's a lot of layers over it. And now they finally introduced layers. So when I press on position, there is arrange and then there's layers. So see how now all these elements are on different layers. So if I wanted to bring things behind or in the front, this is easily achievable. Let's say I want a graphic to be locked. I press on these 3 dots, and then I can lock it in place. And that's going to help me with when I'm moving things around. Okay. And then in the arrange, you can also bring things back and forth. But if you have the layers, why would you do that? You can come here and move them up and down, or just center, move it to the middle, left side. And then if you want to be very specific, then you can type in the pixels. But I'm finally so happy that they finally introduced this. So this is inside the position. You can play with the opacity. Okay. And then this is called copy style. So see, for example, how this text is a certain font, a certain color, a certain size, and I added this curved effect to it. If I press on it and I want to have another text on this page be exactly like this text, then I would copy the style. It's already selected. And then let's say I want to add it to this text. See how now it copied the same effect, same color, the same font. So instead of you going back here and saying, oh, this font was Lovelace, it was 42.5, use the copy style. It's going to save you a lot of time. So this is what the copy style is for. And then there is a lock in case you wanted to lock something on the screen. So this is when I just pressed text. Now I'm going to press on something else. For example, I am going to press on this graphic here in the background. When I press on this graphic, now there's different things that come up. There's an edit photo. Now, because this graphic is an actual photo, then there's different things I can do to it. So inside edit photo, there's effects, adjust, and then crop. There are some very new features. I'm going to show you how these work inside my Pro account. But for now, if you always have the issue that you wanted to remove the background on specific images or on your products, it's a click of a button and then the image, it removes the background. And then there's the magic erase. Let's say you have a picture and then there's, I don't know, people in the background that you want to have removed. Then you just highlight them and then, yeah, it removes them from the picture. And then the last one is when you, yeah, it's showing you how you can highlight something like this flower, and then you can type in what you wanted to replace it with. So I'm going to show you these features after. And then you can add the shadows inside here. So let's say now I pressed on this picture, which is also a photo. I have the same kind of bar on top. I can adjust the brightness and the contrast. So something I always suggest people do, because when you take pictures of your products or yourself, the brightness, all pictures can use a little bit more brightness. So bring it inside Canva and then play around with the brightness, make it brighter, make the contrast a little bit less, and then maybe play around a little bit with the highlights. So this would definitely improve your pictures. Before that, you would use, let's say, Photoshop. Photoshop is not really very available for anybody. It's expensive. You have to pay every month. So why not coming here and edit your photos inside Canva? So this eliminates the use of Photoshop. Okay, so that's for photos. You can flip the image, you can animate it. Same thing we did with the text. Position, yeah, you bring it up and down. Transparency, and then you can copy the style and whatnot. Now, you can see that this actual picture is inside, it's in a circle shape. How is it in a circle shape? I'm going to show you. When I press on it, I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to go all the way down to detach image. When I detach the image, it's actually going to show me how the image was actually rectangle. And then I had this frame. So remember when we were inside elements, and then I scrolled a little bit down and then we saw frames. This is the frames that I'm talking about. So let's say I wanted to add this picture inside a phone. So I'm going to erase that. I just pressed on this phone, can make it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to press on the photo and I'm going to drag it in here. And now the picture is inside the frame. So let's say you created a workbook. Okay. And then you want to showcase how the workbook looks from the inside. So you would download the pictures of the workbook individually, and then you would drag and drop it. So this is how it will look. Okay. Next up, I'm gonna detach this and I'm gonna erase that. Okay. Now I pressed on text, I pressed on photo, I'm gonna press on shape. When I press on shape, see this line? This is considered a shape. Inside the shapes, I can change the color, I can change the thickness. If I wanted dotted lined or rounded, I can animate it. So now the line kind of moves. When I add this little animation, I can bring it up and down and then play with opacity and whatnot. I am going to show you how to be efficient. Okay, guys. So let's say I'm going to, I want to create another post under this. See, there's 3 buttons on here. This plus one, you add an image. This one duplicates the same design, and then this one locks it. So I'm going to create a new image, a new page, and I want to show you how to be efficient with adding elements. So let's say I'm starting with this new canvas here, and I wanted to add a circle. All I have to do is press on C. So when I press on C, I'm going to move that. I am going to add a text, and I'm going to type C so you remember. So when you use your keyboard, you press on C, it's going to create a circle. When I press on R, it creates a shape that is square, or you can make it as a rectangle. So R kind of stands for rectangle. I am going to create another text here so you remember this is R. Another shortcut is L. So when you press on L, it creates a line. And what's the next one? Okay, and then if you wanted to easily create text, so let's say I'm in here and then I want to create a text, I can just press T and it creates a text for me. So I'm just doing this so that you can visually remember. Okay, so C is for circle, R is for rectangle, L is for line, T is for text. Let's say I forgot what the shortcut was for text. I would have to go here, press on text, and then press on this. So there, you can always press on buttons, but if you are trying to be more efficient, then yeah, remember these shortcuts. Okay, so we went over all the elements. Okay, I'm going to create a new page and just show you a few things. So remember I said there's graphics and then there's stickers. Let's say I press on graphics. Okay, so I am going to look for, I don't know, a strawberry, let's say. So it's going to give me all these options. As I mentioned, some of them are pro, some of them are not. But you have the option of changing colors to some of them. If you press on a graphic and then it says edit photo, then that means you cannot change the colors. But if you, let's see, no, this one is a photo as well. Okay, for example, now I pressed on this strawberry. See how this bar on top changed? It's showing me that I can actually change the colors of this graphic. So let's say you wanted everything to look on brand, then you can play around with different colors. And you definitely want a graphic that you can change the colors of rather than, a photo where you're just stuck with that. Okay, and also, let's say I'm still looking for a graphic. Let's say I wanted an animated graphic, not a still. So here in the filter, there's a button here. And then you can decide if you're only looking for something that is static or animated. If I press on animated, it's going to show me all the different options of lemons that are animated. If you definitely know you don't want any animation, then just press on the static. And these are the options that show up for something that is static. Okay, so if I go back here on top, if you wanted to keep creating many posts that have the same design, press on duplicate instead of using the plus. So now that it duplicated, all you have to do is just erase a few elements and keep the same background color. Okay, so keep the same background color and then add more elements to it. Now, once I'm happy with my design, what am I supposed to do? You're probably asking yourself that. Here's what you can do. You go to share, and then there's many options that show up. Either you can, if you're working with somebody and you want to share what you worked on, you can share it by email. You can schedule it in. So if you have the pro account, it's going to connect to your Instagram and it's going to directly schedule it in. And you can download. When you press on download, you have a few options. You can either download it as a JPEG, download it as a PNG. The difference between a JPEG and a PNG is a PNG can have no background no color in the background. So let's say I just wanted this picture with nothing in the background behind it. I would download it as a PNG. So I'll go back here. So this is the biggest difference between a JPEG and a PNG. Let's say you have a design for your logo and you want to download it. You don't want to download it as a JPEG because it's going to have a white background. If you want to use your logo for watermarks over your pictures, always download it as a PNG. But there's a twist here. Inside Canva, you cannot download a transparent background if you don't have the pro account. So that's the plus of having a pro account versus the free version. So you can never actually download your logo without a background because you can't press on transparent. You would have to try Canva for 30 days for free. Okay, different ways of downloading things. You can download something as a PDF. So let's say you worked on a workbook. You want to download it as a PDF with many pages. So you would press on PDF. Then there's a PDF that you plan on printing because the one that you plan on printing is going to have, I don't know, it's going to be bigger in size, right? Because it's higher quality than the ones that are just going to live online. You can download as a SVG. This is mostly used, a lot of people are designing mugs or t-shirts and then they print on it. They download their design as a SVG so that when they get it printed on their Cricut or whatever they're using to transfer, they use an SVG. So it's kind of cut out, that kind of thing. You can also download a video as an MP4 and you can download as a GIF. So you have all these options once you're ready to share. So you press on share and then you go to download. Okay. Other buttons that are available here is like the print your design. This is what we went over when we were on the dashboard. You can print your business card, t-shirts, whatever through here. Like let's say it's a calendar, you can print your design and actually have it delivered to you. Okay. Now here on top, you can resize. Let's say I created this post, but now I want to repurpose this square post as a story for my Instagram. I would go inside resize and then I would press on, I would type in story. And then here are the dimension of, let me be more specific, right? Instagram story. Okay, so once I press on that, now you can't see this because it's only available for the pro account. But once I press on this, it's going to use the same design, but now it's going to be a rectangle that is the dimension of a story. Okay, and then inside file here is where you can duplicate. Once you're done, I highly suggest you go in and you save it inside a folder. Now, this Canva is a cloud base. Once I'm done my design, I never need to press save. Okay, it's going to save it no matter what. And this becomes, how would I say it? If every time you're going to design something, it's going to save it, it's going to look very messy on your dashboard. That's why I would suggest when you're done with your design, go inside file and then save it inside a specific folder. Name it Instagram or name it for students, But for example, what I just mentioned here, now that I'm done this design, if I go back home, I never press save, by the way. I go back here to the dash, it has my design. It's not showing up right now, but it has my design. If I press on it again, everything is saved in here without me actually saving it. So nothing is going to be lost, but it does get pretty messy if you're not organized. Okay. Okay, so something that I want to talk about, let me actually go back into creating an Instagram post, is AI. AI is all the rage right now. And here's how you can use AI using Canva for free. So for example, I'm going to create a post on Instagram and I want it to have many, what is it called? Like many pictures, and it's going to be a carousel. But I'm not sure what the content is going to be. See this button here? It's called Canva Assist. When you press on it, you have the magic right. When I press on that, this is like the AI feature inside Canva. I want Canva to help me come up with 5 ways to get, or 5 tips, let's say, to get organized. Press enter and look what it came up with. 5 tips to get organized. Make a to-do list. Use a calendar, declutter your space, set reminders, take a break. So let's say I'm trying to create content and now I actually have content that is ready available for me to post on Instagram. So for example, when I do that, what I would do is kind of break down each point. So I'm going to leave this first one here, add another one, and then add the rest. See how changed how this one looks? So if I just press on it, if I go to copy style and then press on this, it's going to go back to how it originally looked. So now that you can see, like I can create 5 pages, okay? And each of them can have 1 bullet point. Then I'm going to add some graphics. And here I have content available to post on Instagram. And I didn't have to actually think about anything. So I highly, highly recommend you check out the Magic Write tool. If you've heard about like ChatGPT, this is kind of like ChatGPT inside Canva. And yeah, play around with it. You're on the free account, you get 21 credits. So you can try it for 21 times, but I think that's like 21 times in your lifetime with Canva, not like 21 a month. Okay, so, but if you're on the pro account, then you can, this is a basic feature that you can always use and use again. So that's one AI tool that I wanted to mention. This is to help with writing if you struggle with creating content. Okay, another one is over here. If I scroll all the way down to text to image, this is very fun actually. You can type in text and then it will generate a picture. Okay, so let me type in, I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to type in a wooden bench with a plant and a laptop. Okay, there are different styles that I can pick from. So if I look at the styles, it can generate a photo, or it can generate like a digital art for me, or something like fine arts here. Okay, and then I can decide if I want it square or landscape or portrait. Let's just use whatever is selected, none right now. And then I'm gonna press on create image. It's gonna take a few seconds. And it's gonna generate 4 picture options. Look what it came up with. These are pretty good. Okay, so if I press on it, this is one of the pictures it came up with. Now, I don't like this kind of blurred look. Maybe it kind of selected like a futuristic look or a filmic look. I can press on the different options. Let me delete this one. I'm going to press on the different one. Like, look how real this plant looks. Okay, so let's say you wanted to create a post on Instagram. You don't know how you want it to look, but you know you want to include a plant and a laptop or whatever. You just created something here. You go into text, you add a text, and you say like 5 ways. I'm going to add it here. I'm going to change the color, white, to get organized. So not only did you create text content, and now you have images, right? So this is a very fun tool. I think you also have limited times of how many times you can use it a day. If you have the pro account, I think you can use it like 10 times a day, but play around, see how you can, find interesting things to use in here.